Hello, everyone. And thank you to everyone who was here early. We love to see that. We are equally as excited for today's speaker and to today's topic. So, on behalf of the Global Association for Research and Innovation, also known as GARI, I warmly welcome you to today's webinar titled Ethical Use of AI in Academic Research. My name is Sam LaLiberty. I will be moderating the session for you today. And this is so important as AI continues to shape our academic landscapes. It is critical that we engage in conversations about ethical principles, responsible practices, and integrity in research. Before we begin, I have just a few housekeeping items and rules. One, this session is being recorded. So this will be made available for you after the event. We're also live on YouTube right now. So immediately after the event, you can rewatch the webinar there if you would like. We've also enabled the Q&A feature. So here on Zoom, if at any time you have a question for our speaker or the topic, you can put your question right in there. As well as on YouTube, you can just put a comment on the video. And that is going to allow us to make sure the conversation is customized to you at the end. We will save time for some Q&A. Finally, everyone who has registered with their full name and their email will be receiving a certificate of participation. We'll be sending that out afterwards, so you can look for that in your inbox. Now, before we begin, I'm just going to briefly introduce GARI. We are a multidisciplinary platform that supports researchers, scholars, and professionals through fellowships, virtual conferences, a peer-reviewed journal, and collaborative programs. You can learn more at our website, and we encourage you to connect with us on LinkedIn. So now let's meet our speaker. The entire reason we are here today, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Boe, a senior lecturer at the School of Languages, Literacies, and Translation in Malaysia. She holds a PhD in translation studies and has over a decade of experience in global translation. Her research focuses on translation history, the sociology of translation, and Chinese Malay translation. She's been published extensively, and she currently serves on the committee of the China Accreditation Test for Translators. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Boe as she presents today's topic on the ethical use of AI in academic research. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much to the moderator for the introduction, Sam. Let me share my slide first, yeah?
Perfect. And for those who've just joined, a reminder, we will save time for Q&A at the end. So please put any questions in the Q&A box in front of you or in a comment on YouTube. Your slide looks great, Dr. Boe. I'll let you take it over from here.
All right, thank you again, Sam. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. I'm Dr. Boe Pek Yan from the School of Languages, Literacy and Translation at University Science Malaysia in Penang, Malaysia. So it's actually 5:05 a.m. here in Malaysia. So I have had my coffee already. I'm really delighted and honored to be invited by the Global Association for Research and Innovations, or GARI, to share some thoughts and insight with you here today on the ethical use of AI in academic research. So in today's session, I will be covering several key topics that are central to understanding the ethical and effective integrations of AI in academic research. And the key topics include the role of AI in enhancing research quality, ethical consideration and plagiarism concerns, the use of AI-generated content in academic research, both its pros and cons, and finally, research fidelity and academic integrity in the digital age. So together, this team will help us reflect not only on how AI can improve our research practices, but also how we can use AI responsively while upholding academic standards. So I will begin by talking about what academic research is, then move on to what AI is, and finally explain how AI integrates into academic research. This way, we can see the big picture and understand how to use AI ethically in our research. Okay? So before we dive into the details, let's take a step back and ask ourselves a very simple but important question. What exactly is academic research? Yeah. So for me, I personally believe that before we talk about artificial intelligence, AI, we need to first understand the nature of academic research and its purposes. And why do I say this? Yeah? Because if we are not clear on what research truly means, then we might also misunderstand where AI fits in and where it does not. Okay, so think about it this way. If we treat research as nothing more than gathering information, then AI might look like the perfect solutions, as it can search, it can summarize, it can generate content almost instantly. But that would be a very shallow understanding of research. Yeah, academic research is not simply information gathering. It's about questioning, analyzing, interpreting, and contributing to knowledge in a way that is rigorous and ethical. So if we start with the wrong idea of research, we will also place AI in the wrong position. Yeah, we may be tempted to let AI do the thinking for us, when in reality, its role should be very different. AI should assist, it should support, but it should never replace the critical judgment, creativity, and integrity that define true scholarship. That is why we must first be very clear about what academic research actually is. And once we have that foundation, then we can properly ask, how can AI support this process without undermining it? And where can AI add value, and where must we as human researchers remain fully in control? So now, what is academic research? Yeah? I would like to explain here briefly. At its core, academic research is a systematic and rigorous process. It is not just about collecting information or piling up data. Anyone can do that, right? So academic research, it actually goes deeper, yeah? It is evidence-based, critical, and analytical at the same time, yeah? So it demands that we uphold certain standards, yeah, such as objectivity, transparency, and integrity. And most importantly, it's always seek to contribute to something new, yeah, no matter how small, to human understanding. So we can also say that research is a process of investigation, analysis, and synthesis. It is methodical, it is intentional. So scholars and students engage in it with a purpose. We need to be clear on this, yeah? To generate knowledge, to test ideas, to solve problems, or to validate what we already know. And it doesn't stop with the researcher alone. Yeah. That's why we need to publish our research findings. Yeah. The outcomes are shared with the academic community, whether through publications, conferences, or theses, so that others can learn from it, critique it, or even build upon it. Or in other words, the purpose of research is multi-layered. As we can see here, it allows us to expand knowledge by exploring new ideas and new theories. It helps us to solve practical and theoretical problems. It validates or challenges existing assumptions, and along the way, it trains us as researchers, yeah, to think critically, to be able to question, to analyze, and to synthesize information in a responsible way. Yeah. So in short, academic research is more than a task for me. Okay. It is both a discipline and a responsibility. Yeah. Then mine is a discipline and also a responsibility. It shapes the way we think, the way we solve problems, and also the way we contribute to the advancement of knowledge. Yeah. And I think it's important, yeah, it's very important to keep this in mind before we talk about AI, because AI must serve this principle of academic research, not undermine them. Okay, so now we have defined academic research. Let's take a moment again to ask ourselves, what is AI and how does it facilitate academic research? Yeah. As we all realize, yeah, AI is a hot topic these days, and it has become part of our everyday life. In a way, we can say that we are co-living with AI. It's with us all the time, or most of the time, helping us in many, many ways, yeah, including in our academic research. So what do we mean when we talk about AI? Yeah, put simply, AI is the science of making machine smart, designing systems that can carry out tasks which would normally require human intelligence. So these tasks might include, yeah, for example, I give some example here, or understanding language, recognizing patterns, yeah, making decisions, solving problems, or even generating new content now, such as text, images, or music. So AI actually, it works by, we need to learn and realize this, yeah, how AI works. Yeah? AI works by processing very large amount of data and then finding patterns within that data, then using algorithm to learn and to improve over time. So in other words, AI doesn't just follow fixed instruction, it adapts based on what it has learned. And that is why we often say AI system can think or learn in ways that resemble human intelligence, although of course they remain limited, yeah, by the data they are trained on and the instruction, or we call it prompts, given by humans. So in essence, AI is not just about technology. It's about extending human capacity, yeah, in helping us to work faster, to see deeper, and sometimes even to think differently. Okay? And now, when we bring this into the context of academic research, the role of AI becomes very, very interesting. Yeah, because research itself, as I mentioned earlier, is a systematic and rigorous process. And AI now has the potential to support that process in multiple ways. And for example, it can help us discover knowledge more efficiently by scanning vast bodies of literatures. It can also process and analyze data at a speed and skill no human could achieve alone. Yeah. So it can assist us in improving the clarity of our writing and even to the extent to suggest new direction for inquiry. But it is important for me to emphasize here that AI is a facilitator, not a replacement. Okay, it is there. AI is there to support us as the researcher, but not to take over our role, to do the critical thinking, not to take over the role that reflects, yeah, that shows uh, our creativity and also our ethical responsibility that define through scholarship. So how does AI come in to facilitate academic research? Basically, there are 5 major areas where AI integrates in academic research, such as knowledge discovery, data processing, writing and editing, collaboration, and innovation. I will go through each of these areas in detail so that we can see how they work in practice. But bear in mind, AI is not a researcher. It is a facilitator and also an assistant. Okay, it can, of course, it can manage speed, skill, and repetitive tasks, but it cannot replace human judgment, critical thinking, or ethical responsibility. So we can see that AI and humans, we can work in partnership. Okay, the machine accelerate, but we, as the human researcher, we decide. The machine processes, but The human interpret, the machine suggests, but the human ensure rigor and integrity. So with this understanding, let's begin with the first area, knowledge discovery. Okay, when we talk about the how AI facilitate knowledge discovery in a literature review, the key point are speed and depth. Yeah, traditionally reviewing the literature is a slow and time-consuming and very manual process. Yeah, we search databases, we filter result manually, and then we extract the details by hand. But now with AI help us at every stage. Yeah, first, AI improve the search itself. Instead of relying only on keywords, AI can actually perform what we call semantic search, okay? Which means it understands the meaning of concept. And it can help us to find papers, even the exact words are different, okay? It also expands queries with synonyms, acronyms, or subject specific terms, making the search more comprehensive. Okay. And secondly, AI also supports screening. Okay. It can classify abstracts or full text according to inclusion or exclusion criteria, so that researchers only need to double check each cases instead of reading through everything from scratch. Okay. Next, AI also can assist us with mapping and synthesis. Yeah, AI can cluster topics, uh, visualize goal citation networks, and even highlight or where research gaps exist. And on top of that, it can summarize large sets of articles, extracts, studies details like sample size, methods, or the outcome or the research findings into structured tables and generate concise summaries of where the field agrees or disagrees. Okay, and finally, AI also make the literature review more dynamic. Yeah, instead of being static. Yeah, we can actually set there are features that allow us to set alerts or notifications and create what are called living reviews. Yeah, traditionally, a literature review is a static snapshot. Yeah, we collect, we analyze, we write about studies up to a certain date. Yeah, but now with digital tools, databases like Scopus, Web of Science, and AI-powered platforms such as Connected Papers or Elicit, we can now actually create what are sometimes called living reviews. Yeah, and these reviews are designed to be dynamic and continuously updated. So if we set an alarm or notification via email or in apps in databases, then whenever new studies matching our keywords appear, we will get the notifications. And some platform, they also allow us to integrate references automatically, making it easier to keep the review current. Okay, and for example, take Scopus, for instance, it has recently that not long ago, integrating AI-powered tools for researchers. For example, Scopus AI can now summarize key points from a set of articles, highlight trending topics, and even suggest related works that we might have not found with a simple keyword search. Yeah? So this is exactly how AI support knowledge discovery in literature review. Yeah, so we can see that AI, it helps us move beyond just collecting papers, and instead it shows up patterns, gaps, and connections. Okay. So if you ask me if is it suitable, I would say yes, but with caution. Yeah. Scopus AI is very useful for explorations and getting an overview of a topic quickly. However, it should not be used as the final authority. Yeah. Sometimes we need to be aware that sometimes the AI generated summaries may oversimplify or even miss important details. Yeah. Especially in theoretical or highly specialized work. So, while it is suitable as a starting point or as an assistant, researchers, as the researchers, we need to go back to the original papers and critically read them. Yeah, there's no shortcut. All right. So, of course, there are benefits and limitations. Yeah, the benefits are obvious. Yeah, it saves our time. Yeah, covers more ground and connects ideas across discipline. But there are also risks. Yeah? AI can misclassify studies. It can even miss theoretical nuance, and sometimes it behave like a black box. So we don't always know why a certain paper was surfaced. Yeah. So that's why human oversight is essential. Yeah. So in short, AI does not replace the researcher in doing a literature review, but it acts like a very powerful assistant. It accelerates the process, make it more comprehensive, and help us see the bigger picture while we still provide the critical evaluation and interpretations. Yeah. This is all regarding the first aspect, the first area, knowledge discovery. Then moving to the next area, data processing. Okay, when it comes to data processing in academic research, AI again plays a crucial role because it can handle large and complex data set much more faster and more accurately than a human. First, AI automates data cleaning and preparation. For example, like detecting missing values or correcting errors and normalizing formats. So this actually saves researchers a huge amount of time. Yeah. And secondly, AI can analyze big data at a skill that is impossible manually. Okay, whether it is like a million of words in a corpus or a thousand, let's say you have like thousands of survey responses or terabytes of experimental data, AI algorithm can quickly identify the certain patterns, cluster, or trends. AI also enhances, multimodal analysis. That means AI can process not just numbers, but also text, images, audio, or video, and making it especially useful in fields like, for example, linguistic or social sciences where data is diverse. And finally, AI support predictive and inferential analysis, and by applying machine learning models, researcher can go beyond describing what is in the data to predict outcomes or to simulating scenarios. Okay, but again, let's look at the pros and cons of using AI in data processing. Okay, so on the positive side, the first big advantage is efficiency, okay? Because AI can automate tasks like data cleaning and preparation, things that normally take hours or sometimes even days, So researcher now can save a lot of time, and to focus on other aspects, So second is scalability, In terms of scalability, AI can handle massive data set that would be impossible, for us to process manually, And at the same time, also AI provides advanced insight, It can quickly detect patterns, cluster, or trends, connections that human researcher might overlook. And finally, there's multimodal analysis. As I mentioned earlier, AI can work with not just number, but also text, images, and even audio and video, which make it especially powerful in field where data come from different forms, not just one form, but different forms. But of course, there are also challenges, One key issue is bias, Because AI, we must know, that AI learns from existing data, So it can sometimes reflect or even amplify the biases already present in certain data. And secondly, AI is highly dependent on data quality. If the data is poor or incomplete or unrepresentative, definitely, the outcomes will be misleading. Okay, like what we see, garbage in, garbage out. So be very careful, when we integrate AI in our research. And third, there are also some issues related to transparency. Many AI tools work like a black box, meaning that we don't always know, how the results are generated. We just get the output directly from AI tools, but we don't know how these results are generated. So, which indirectly makes them harder to explain. And also, finally, the risk of over reliance. Okay, it is tempting, to take AI outputs, at face value. But we must remember, as I mentioned a few times earlier, that human interpretations and critical thinking are still essential. So, while AI in data processing offers huge advantages or benefits, it also demands careful oversight to ensure our research remained accurate, not just accurate, but also ethical and trustworthy. So the benefits are clear, efficiency, the ability of AI to uncover certain insights, okay, and more advanced form of analysis. But we also need to be cautious, As I mentioned just now, AI models can introduce bias, They require high quality data to perform well, and their outputs still need careful human interpretation. So AI does not just speed up data processing, but it actually transforms it, turning raw data into meaningful knowledge much more effectively. Okay? And the third area, okay, when it comes to writing and editing in academic research, AI acts like a very smart assistant. Yeah, it helps at several levels. Okay, first, during drafting, AI can generate outlines, abstracts, or even give alternative sentence structures when we are stuck. And it really shines in language and style improvement. It can help us to check grammar, punctuations, typo, okay, spelling errors, and make our writing more concise and formal that fit in academic writing. Okay. It can also summarize long text. You can ask AI to paraphrase for clarity, or even suggest references or related readings for you. Okay, and on top of that, many AI tools now help with formatting, like citation, references list, or journal submission style. And of course, again, there are clear benefits. It saves our times, it improves readability of our writing, it helps us to present our idea more professionally, but again, there are also downsides. Sometimes AI outputs are shallow or even inaccurate, and if we depend too much on AI, we risk losing our own academic voice, which is very dangerous. And plus, there are ethical concerns as well, such as plagiarism or misrepresenting authorship. So overall, I would say that AI is suitable as a supportive tool for writing or for editing, but it should never replace our own critical thinking and originality. Okay. Moving to the fourth area, which is collaborations. When we think about collaboration in academic research, AI really helps, by making teamwork easier and more efficient. So first, AI it supports communication and networking. For example, AI now can recommend potential collaborators based on shared research interests, or even provide real-time translation, so that scholars from different countries they can work together without language barriers. And second, it also helps in co-authoring with AI integrated into platform like, for example, Google Docs or Overleaf. Teams now they can edit document in real time to manage the latest versions or to control. And even AI can suggest edits or merge different sessions. Yeah. And AI can also play the role of a project manager. Interesting, yeah? It helps us to schedule meetings across different time zones, track deadlines, and even assign tasks based on team members' expertise. And finally, it's about knowledge sharing and integrations. Yeah, it can summarize group discussion, um, create structured notes, and detect overlapping ideas from different team members, which it helps us as a group, to integrate our work more effectively. So the advantages again are very clear. It makes global collaborations smoother, okay, save our time and encourages interdisciplinary work. But at the same time, they are also risky. Risky. Why? Privacy and intellectual property can be issues, and sometimes over reliance on AI tools may reduce personal interaction as well, or create great inequalities. Yeah, if some researchers lack access. So overall, AI acts as a bridge. It connects researchers, organize teamwork, and keep our projects on track, while we as humans still need to ensure fairness, critical input, and genuine collaborations. Okay, the last area. Okay, when we talk about innovation in academic research, AI acts as a catalyst. It accelerates the way new ideas are born and tested. Okay, first, AI can highlight patterns. Highlight patterns in data or literature that researcher may not have noticed. So indirectly, this sparks new hypotheses and also open up unexplored research questions. Secondly, AI also introduced methodological innovation. Think of how machine learning, natural language processing, or computer visions have created brand new ways of approaching research in fields from medicines to linguistics. So it also encouraged interdisciplinary methods, combining insights from different disciplines that might never have come together otherwise. Third, AI help with faster prototyping. Researchers can now run simulations. They can test ideas with synthetic data or build models much more quickly. And this shortens the cycle from idea to experiments, and then to results, to the findings. So even early career researcher or those without technical backgrounds, now they have access, right? Now they have access to advanced AI tools. So this also indirectly lowers the entry barrier and also make it easier for people around the world to contribute to innovations. And of course, the benefits are exciting. Okay, we get faster breakthroughs. Okay, or more cross-disciplinary works and greater access to innovation. But we also need to be very careful because sometimes what AI produces look novel, yeah? But it just look novel, but lack real theoretical depth. And there are also issue of authorship, yeah? If AI helps generate an idea, who owns it, right? Of course, we must validate everything, yeah, carefully. So in short, AI is a powerful driver of innovation, but it works best when paired with human creativity, uh, critical thinking, and ethical responsibility. And now we come to the next uh, part, yeah. When we talk about using AI ethically in academic research, there are 5 key principles to keep in mind. Okay, first is transparency and disclosure. We need to be open about when and how we use AI tools. That means if we use, let's say, for example, ChatGPT, Grammarly, or an AI coding assistant, okay, we should state it clearly. Okay, where we disclose it depends on, let's say we want to submit our article to certain journals. Okay, it depends on the um, requirements. Sometimes they will ask you to mention it in the methodology sessions or in acknowledgement sessions, or sometimes even in footnotes. So why? Why does this matter? Yeah? Why they ask us to disclose the use of AI in academic research? Because this will ensure, or it will build, trust and avoid representation, and it will help the reader to see what part was our own intellectual work versus AI assisted. Yeah. For example, I just give an example here. You could say or mention sessions of the initial draft were refined with the assistance of ChatGPT. Okay. Second, integrity of research data. This is pretty simple. Yeah. Don't let AI fabricate everything. No fake data, no made-up sources, no ghost citations. Always verify AI outputs. Again, the original sources. I always tell my students to check, to go back and to read the original sources. Yeah. And be careful with sensitive information as well. Yeah. Make sure that you never upload a raw interview, for example, raw interview transcripts or any other confidential data into any third-party AI system without proper safeguards. Yeah, um, it's fine, for example, to let AI summarize a data set for you, but it is not fine. To upload participant private interview or their personal information into an AI tool without consent. Yeah? That would cross an ethical line. So third is about authorship and intellectual contributions. Okay, our AI is not an author. We need to realize this. Journals, publishers, and research bodies all agree on this. Yeah, AI cannot take responsibility. AI cannot interpret, and AI cannot claim originality. So the accountability is always with us, the researchers, the human researchers. Yeah? We can acknowledge AI as a tool, but the intellectual, yeah, heavy lifting like analysis, argument, or critical thinking must come from the human scholar. Yeah, for instance, an AI might draft a literature map, yeah, but it is us, it is you, yeah, who decide which theories matter in your field and which research gaps are worth pursuing. And remember as well, AI system reflects biases in data they were trained on. That means we need to use them critically, not blindly. Always cross-check outputs with multiple scholarly sources and avoid simply copying AI words into your work, okay? And finally, we need to see AI as an assistant, yeah, not a replacement. It can speed up certain tasks, like I mentioned, screening articles, polishing our language, or automating coding, but it can never replace human insight, originality, or interpretations. Yeah, the best way, the best way for us to think of it is this, yeah. AI can act like a junior research assistant. Yeah, it can highlight a gap in, for example, renewable energy studies. Okay, but it is up to you, the scholar, to decide whether the gap is significant or how to design the research around it. So AI can help us, yeah, but we must remain the thinkers, the decision makers, and also the ethical guidance of our research. And to wrap up, yeah, here are the key points on using AI ethically in academic research. Yeah, first, always disclose, yeah, your use of AI clearly and also transparently. Okay, and then second, verify everything, data, references, outputs, yeah. Don't just take them at face value, okay? Third, remember that authorship and accountability remain with us, yeah, not with the tool. And fourth, be mindful of bias and avoid relying too heavily on AI. And finally, use AI as a tool to support your scholarship, not as a substitute for your own critical thinking and originality. And if we can follow all these principles, AI become a responsible partner in research, yeah, rather than a shortcut. So with this, we can harness the benefit of AI while preserving the integrity of academic research. Yeah. For me, we are all adults, yeah? And the truth is no one out there can completely control how we use AI in our academic research. At the end of the day, it comes down to us, yeah? We need to be clear, yeah, very, very clear about our own path, yeah. What do we really want to be in the future? Do we want to be a true scholar? If the answer is yes, then we must take responsibility for how we use AI. That means using it wisely, ethically, and in a way that strengthen, not weaken, yeah, that strengthen our credibility as researchers. Okay, so that's all from me, and I hope my talk today has given you some insight on how to integrate AI into your academic research. And I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bo. That was excellent. We learned so much. We do have time for a couple questions that came through during your presentation. So we'll see how many we can get through. But a big one is really around how we can use AI to detect plagiarism in scholarly writing, right? Are there methods or tools where we can actually identify if AI generated content has been used in academic texts?
All right, thank you very much for the questions. Yeah, actually, there are many tools available in the market that we can use to detect, AI generated output. For example, in Malaysia, in USM, we use Turnitin to screen through the students' work. Okay, before they go for Viva Voce, we will ask them to send their work, their thesis, their full thesis for Turnitin screening. Okay, there are also many other tools that you can simply get the answer on internet. Yeah? What are the tools available in the market that we can utilize to detect AI generated output? But the point is we are not trying to stop any tools to detect our works was like generated by AI tools. Yeah, we, as I mentioned many times during my talk, we need to take the responsibility to be a real researcher.
Absolutely. Great points. Okay, I've got another one for you. Is it acceptable to use AI tools to reframe or refine text that was originally written by a human author and then incorporate the revised version into research? What do you think about that?
Yes, yes, that's fine. But we always need to cite the original sources. Yeah, we cannot just simply take and ask AI to rephrase it for us and then claim it ours as ours.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
not this way. Yeah, we can, like I mentioned in writing and editing, we can use AI tools to help us to polish our language, but make sure that we use it ethically always.
Absolutely. And we actually had a couple questions about appropriate citation practices. So, how would you recommend we cite AI generated text in scholarly work?
All right. Actually, it all depends on, like I mentioned just now during my talks, certain journal, when we submit our manuscript, yeah, we will have to go through the submission process. Usually, they will have a few questions that ask us whether we use or we integrate any AI tools in writing or preparing our manuscripts at any stages, okay, at any stages. So we need to be transparent. If we use any AI tools to help us to prepare our manuscripts or in our research, then we need to disclose, to tell them honestly, okay, to report. And certain, it depends, yeah. Or some journal, they will ask you to disclose it under acknowledgement segment, and they have their own standards or sentences that they want us to follow. Yeah, it all depends to which institutions, which journals we are submitting to. Yeah.
Okay, we'll make time for one more question, but just
Yeah.
for those who
Okay.
need to go, this has been
Ah,
recorded. It'll be up on YouTube immediately, so you can rewatch anything you missed right away. We'll be sending out a recording along with your certificates of completion, so just know if you have to go. But let's do one more, specifically from the lens of academic institutions. How can they ensure transparency and accountability when their researchers are using AI tools in research and in the publication process? What is their responsibility?
I think we are still working on it, like, yeah, we are still working on it, but as a human researcher, we need to take the role. We need to be responsible. Yeah, for me, it's very important that we need to take the responsibility. In terms of transparency, like I mentioned, the five main areas how we can integrate AI tools in our research, right? There are many different aspects or different parts that AI can come in. So all these parts are accounted, right? How to, in terms of transparency, like I say, we need to disclose, we need to be transparent, need to be honest to our readers, yeah, and also to ourselves, yeah. Like I asked just now, like what we want to be in the future, a true scholar or an AI scholar. It's all up to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I think leads us to a final point that I want to ask. It's someone actually from YouTube, which is, in the age of AI, how can we continue to build or develop our own voices as researchers if we are still going to use AI to refine and edit our work? What advice do you have for us to
Mhm.
maintain our voice and find our voice in this exciting time of AI?
Yeah. As I mentioned also during my talk, AI come in many ways to help us, but we cannot uh, um, lose our own voices. This is very important. We need to think critically. We need to be able to analyze the data by ourselves, okay, to see from different perspective and not to let AI to generate output for us. Yeah. Um, yeah, this is for me, this is very important. We can get the first draft, the initial draft, but we need to work on it by ourselves. Let's say we uh, integrate AI in helping us to get to do or to perform a literature review. Yes, we can get the literature map, right? We can get the map. Yeah, usually we'll get the literature gap, but we need to sit down and look into it. Which gaps are important, um, importance are significant for us to fill in. Yeah, I guess this is where our own voices can come in and we can speak up.
Hmm. I love that. I think that is a great place to end. Thank you so much, Dr.
Most
Bo. That
welcome.
to the end of today's session. So, on behalf of GARI, we extend our sincere appreciation to Dr. Bo for such a brilliant contribution to our community today. Thank you to everyone who has joined. The recording is now available on YouTube. Your certificate of attendance will be sent out to those who did register and who attended. And to learn more about GARI, you can visit our website, follow us on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you at future GARI events. So, thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. That's it. Bye.
Bye bye.